Here's 3 ways to use the chord track in Studio One. So the first and easiest way is to just use the chords window that gets pulled up right here and double click in the chords bar. And when you double click, it gives you a full measure of a chord. And if you double click again, you can change that chord based on the circle of fifths. So that's the easiest way to do it. So if I've got a chord progression that I want to start at measure 4, I'll double click and maybe I'll do something like A minor to D minor. Then what I can do is highlight them and I can pull them onto an instrument. So here's a dark pad. And I can pull it onto multiple instruments too. If I want to have my piano play that same thing, I'll just click and drag it onto the piano as well. So both instruments will play it. You can also make the chords as long or as short as you want. So if you want them to last for 1 beat or even an 1/8 note length, you can really zoom in and decide how long you want those chords to last. So now if we have that G minor twice, and we click and drag that in there, it's going to have the chord played twice. The other way to mess with that is to go into the chord by double clicking, and then of course you can chop it up using your split tool like you've probably done many times before. So that's the first way to use the chord track, is to just pull chords down onto your instrument. Another really useful way to do it is if you are recording something with a keyboard. So let's say I am recording this piano part. What I could do is I could take what I just played and I can drag it in the reverse direction back up to the chord window. So now I can see what chords I actually played. So if I'm working with another musician or like a guitar player that you want to record along to what you did, you can just put it up there in that chord track after you've played it. This is something I do a lot when I record like a piano part for a whole song. I'll just take that and drag it into the chord window so I can see what I played. So on my next take, if I'm doing another instrument like guitar or bass, I can see what I played and I can remember where I am in the song. Because sometimes it's hard to remember where you are in the song when you're just writing it and you haven't learned your own tune that well yet. The third and final way I'm going to show you how to use the chord track today is you can actually take recorded audio like this guitar part. You can take that recorded audio and actually put it into the chord window as well. So we're going to just click and drag that up, and there it is, and I can zoom in and I can see what chords the guitar played there. B minor, D, G, C. Now every once in a while there'll be a chord that it's like, well, it didn't sound like it switched to an E minor right there. Well, it's the computer doing its best job to hear an audio track, especially something like an acoustic guitar where we know we have open strings maybe ringing between chords. It might put a chord in there that you don't necessarily want to identify. So what I do if that happens is I'll just delete that so I can see what the chord progression is a little bit more cleanly. It doesn't change the audio, and maybe I'll even do something like that so I can see what the chord progression was that I laid down on the acoustic guitar, and now I can actually take that and put it on some other instruments really quickly. So now I've got multiple instruments doing that chord progression. So that's a super useful tool to speed up your production when it comes to chord changes. Let me know if you have any questions.